Hello, I'm Dan Vega.
I'm Angel Pomales, and welcome to the Spanglish Business Show.
Dude, you always get to say Spanglish Business Show. You always say that part. How come I don't ever get to say it?
How about next episode?
Next episode. Welcome to the show, everybody. We're excited to be back with you.
Thank you.
I'm sure we have a lot of very interesting things to talk about. And it's good seeing you, man. It's been a little bit since I've seen you.
How many weeks? 3, 2?
A couple of weeks.
Couple weeks?
Yep.
So what's up, man?
What trouble have you gotten into since then?
Just a little bit of trouble. That's all.
I know you, man.
Well, you probably got in more trouble than I did.
You know.
Because you're always getting some crazy stuff.
Well, you know, my life is like one of those things where it's like normal people wouldn't believe the day-to-days, you know. People say that stuff doesn't happen to normal people, but the weirdest stuff happens.
That stuff only happens.
Not just bad, good stuff too, but it's just kind of a wild ride. I told my wife when we first got married, babe, it's going to be, the highs are going to be high and the lows are going to be low. It's just going to be one of those things.
That's crazy. I mean, as soon as that you tell me, I'm like, dude, that came from a movie or something, man.
I know.
It's just crazy stuff that happened to you. But,
yes.
But hey, it's life, man. Everybody's different.
It's life. So I got to tell you the latest.
So what's the latest?
So here's what happened. I got to tell you this quick story because it's one of those things that you're going to be like, did this really happen? And of course you can Google it and check this out. So I live in this area called Perdido Key. It's this little kind of an island outside of Pensacola.
That's nice.
Yeah. And so Friday night, me and my wife are coming home from dinner, just me and her. And we're turning right to go to my house. And I see this car. You've heard the term like wrapped around a pole. He literally hit this metal pole to where the pole came all the way to the windshield, right? So it cut the front end of the car basically in half and came to the windshield.
Wow. So
the car is smoking really badly, and I see this body outside of the car, kind of like almost under the car. Wow. That there's some guy. So I told my wife, I said, and this is kind of a busy intersection. I said,
that's not pretty at all.
I got to go help. There's nobody on the scene yet. Apparently it had just happened within a few seconds. No one was there. So I jump out of the car. I run over there. And I see this guy very injured, terrible. But he's got 4 children in the car. So anywhere from, say, 5, 6 years old to about 12, 13 years old. Pretty young children. And a dog. So the dog runs out, it's going down the street, and then we get the children, the 3 children in the back seat. A lady pulls over. We put them in this van, but the girl in the front seat, her seatbelt was stuck, and the car is now on fire.
Oh man!
Honestly, and it's really starting to
smoke.
It's ablaze. I mean, fire is really engulfing this thing. It's getting very difficult. So this other lady that was there, she's like, I'll work on getting her out. You get the guy to safety. So I look down. This guy's about 250 pounds. And I'm dragging him. And I look at his leg, and he has a compound fracture, bone sticking out. Like, it's disgusting, I know. But but I don't know what to do. I don't really want to move him in case he has a broken neck. But at the same time, the car's getting ready to explode. It's a ball of flames.
Well, priority first. Gotta get.
So I grab his arm, I grab his broken leg, I'm dragging him across the street, and this other guy finally helps me, and we're dragging him, and he's mumbling like, leave me, get my kids. And the whole time dragging him, I can hear the lady screaming, saying, I can't get her out of the car, the seatbelt is, I can't get her out of the car, and I'm just feeling sick. So I drag this guy across the street, drop him in the grass, I turn around, boom, the car goes up in flames, and I feel just sick about it. And I actually get over there though, and she actually did get out. The woman got the last child out of the car like 5 seconds before it just engulfed with like 20-foot flames. Wow. It was really crazy. Wow. So all the kids they had some minor injuries. The guy obviously was very severely messed up, but it's coming off where we live, right off of a bridge, and apparently he was drunk. He was passing people on the left, going around traffic with 4 children and a dog in the car.
That's not good. That's not good at all.
And when I was trying to calm the kids down before the first responders got there, they were in shock, and I was trying to do my best, And I did ask them, was there alcohol involved? And they said, yeah, he was drinking when he picked us up. And I was a little bit upset about that because obviously it's one thing to kind of put yourself in danger or jeopardy, but when you have when you have 4 children in a car, man, you don't take those risks,
Absolutely not.
And so it was a major deal. And I came home like covered in blood from him, and I went up to the hospital the day before yesterday just to check on the kids and him and see how they're doing. But I read in the paper, and you can look at this if you look up Pensacola car crash or Perdido Key car crash. You can see.
I saw it on the news.
I mean, you'll see the ball of flames of the car.
Wow.
But I think they're now saying potentially not only a DUI, but potential. I don't know what the term would be, but basically he put the kids into real.
So he put the life of risk.
Yeah, and there's some legal ramifications apparently.
Oh, it is, yeah. Man,
so it was so crazy. But when I came home, I was so amped up, and it's weird when you're in those situations because I know the last girl where it was able to get out of the car, but the thought of when I turn around and the car goes up, and I even heard banging in the car, which was the car on fire. It was making all these noises, but my heart, I felt like she was in there, and I didn't know what to do, and even though I know that's not the case, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. It just the whole weekend I was just,
I'll tell you what. I mean, you did right. It was a right decision.
I mean, anybody sees that, they would do it.
I don't even know. My heart goes to the families, but I mean, it's something. It's a good deed. I mean, God knows, He's watching you, and He watched over you, so you can save.
Well, and anybody that would have seen that would have gotten involved just to drag those. But my thing is,
too, right?
So. My thing is though is like not a great call. Anybody can make a bad call, but when you got kids in the car, man, it's just you can't do it.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's questionable, take a cab, call Uber, whatever. But you just can't take risks.
Thanks for your
like
deed,
that.
man.
Man, no big deal.
I saw that on the newspaper.
Yeah, it was a big thing.
And I read on it. I was like, wow.
I was telling people the next day, I was like, you will not believe what happened to me last night. They're like, you're putting us on. That's a story. But then like a day later, it was on the news, and it was crazy, man. But that's only me. Like driving home, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I always say. Every time you got a story, it's like out of a movie or something. I mean, it's crazy. But that one had a happy ending, so that's good.
So I know that you always bring us like a specialty drink. I'm not sure what this is. It tastes like beer plus something else. But can you tell me a little bit about your concoction here? Because
well, our last guest, he said that he used to mix, good Mexican beer with grenadine. So I went in the back like I always do.
Okay.
And I was thinking the whole way about buying grenadine, but then I thought, well, I think the bar has grenadine. So I think we got a branding bottle there.
Yeah.
And I was lucky to find a red grenadine.
It does.
And I mix it with.
It does definitely change things.
With a good
sure.
I still haven't tried it. This will be the first time.
It cuts the bitterness of the hops, or it does taste different.
It tastes different. It looks like kind of amber color, I will say.
Well, I'm not a beer guy, but I would definitely drink this. So if you want to try it. Now, what beer are we talking? Tecate?
Wow. No, that one is Corona.
Corona.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Corona and grenadine. So it's good. I'm saying as a non-beer drinker.
Non-beer drinker?
I'm a fan. Okay.
Yeah, but
so what up with you, man? What up with you?
Me? Not a whole lot. I went to the Hispanic Fest in Pensacola.
When was that?
That was about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah, and right after we filmed the last show, and I was tough, man. I ate so much, it's ridiculous.
Dude.
There was so much food in there, and I could, I had my daughter with me because it was my daughter's idea too. She found out about it. I said, how do you know? Because I was planning on going. And she's like, well, let's go, Dad. I said, well, let's go. So I go there, and the first thing place to my left, they had empanadillas. A little kiosk from Colombia. Then they had empanadillas from Puerto Rico. And I said, well,
empanadas for the rest of us.
Empanadas,
but yes.
Yeah. with stuffed beef and, pocket. It's like hot pockets. But that's how it started. I ended up with rice, with beans.
So did they have like the tamales with the corn husks and
They had all that stuff.
The whole deal. Yeah. The little street tacos.
My belly didn't reach me for tamales.
Oh, man.
Dude, I was eating all kinds of stuff.
Every time you're on the show, I'm telling you, you're always talking about food or drinks.
I learned something new. I went to this lady and I saw these, they look like little stars, like round with a star in the middle. And I was trying to figure out what is that. And she said they made that with pork skin. I was like, wow. I was like, pork skin? So she gave me one to try. I'll try it. I like it.
Like a chicharrone or what?
It's like a chicharrón. Yeah, but it's like a round star. I mean, I've never seen it before. And then she said, well, wait a minute. This is what I got also. I'm like, what do you have? She had this real square of chicharron, but it was a whole square like this big.
And then,
And guess what? No, they put lettuce on top, beef, cheese, and you can eat that too.
hey man, I'm trying to be good.
I was telling the lady, I'm sorry, but I can't eat anymore. It'll be next time.
Well, nice. So your family got to go. It was a nice
Everybody
family
got
outing.
to go. Everybody had a good
Very
time.
cool.
And here we are, man.
Nice, man.
Yeah, man.
What else is happening?
Now in the news, you want to know what's going on in the news?
Say it, baby. Tell me.
You know,
We really do not talk because I don't ever know what's going to come out of your mouth.
yeah.
So I know a lot of shows are kind of pre-rehearsed and
Well-
they do run-throughs, which we do to an extent, but we don't ever talk about what we're going to talk about
Mhm.
because it could just be crap or it could be great. I don't know, but I want to hear it.
Now, let me tell you something. Me and my wife, last weekend, we were, just looking on TV, and I like to learn about things, that are out there, things that I don't know. So I stumbled across what is called a smart meter and the smart meter effects.
A smart meter.
A smart meter.
Okay.
Now, do you know what smart meter I'm talking about?
No.
Okay.
Is it for like your car when you go to
Nope.
to not get a ticket?
Nope.
Okay, I don't know.
This smart meter is the one for the house. You
Okay.
know, before you had the old, round meter that had like little gauges.
Okay, for the
So,
temperature
For the
control.
watts. No, for the wattage. For what you
Oh,
use
the
in
meter for your house.
The meter
For how much you use.
The one that is outside.
Okay, yeah.
Well, now the meters is called smart meters. And they are installing these in all the houses, right? Now, what this smart meter is, of course, is electronically. And it gives you the electronic wattage that you use. But there's hidden things to those smart meters that a lot of people don't know.
Okay.
Meaning that with these smart meters, the company can figure out at what time you turn your lights on, you turn them off. If you're watching TV, if you turn the radio on, if you're using your microwave, if you're using your stove, if you're using your TV, at what time you use the TV.
And what time you leave your home so they can come rob you? I don't know about this.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. However, I see the value to the company because instead of paying the old meter guys to come out and check your meter,
You're
they
saving
can
money.
upload from a base. They can access all that information. They don't have to have the extra staff. But I'm not sure if I want people to know when I alarm my system or when I arm my alarm system, when I leave the house, when I come
It's
home.
going to pick it up.
I'm not sure about that.
I know.
That seems
it's
vulnerable.
going to pick it up.
Yeah.
And the other thing I was telling some friends was like, what if they know, what if later in the future they're going to know what TV shows you watch so they can put advertisement on your TV?
Yeah.
Or because it can go by the time. If
Yeah.
you're there at 8 o'clock at night, let's put some advertisement that really works at 8 o'clock at night. I mean, I don't know. That's just me saying, but.
Well, and I know they have apparently now smart meters, but you have smartphones, you have smart homes where everything's controlled in your home. And I have to say, I think that I'm very grateful for a lot of the advancements we have in technology, but sometimes some of the advancement is not smart. I think we start crossing lines. Like a few weeks back, I mentioned where they're wanting to shoot lasers into the sky to evaporate clouds or to create rain. And when you start messing with weather, and you start, everything is so advanced, then I think that it, in a way, makes our society more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And puts us actually a little farther behind the
Kind of
curve.
Star Trek advance there.
Yeah, man. Don't leave the weather alone, man. You fix this over
We got
here.
Mars, right? Once we colonize the Mars, what do we do it over there?
Well, Elon's
They got
working on
clouds
it, man.
on Mars.
I don't know. I don't think so.
they probably got dust clouds. I know that for sure. Now, do you know? In South America they got Machu Picchu. You familiar with Machu Picchu?
Let's say yes, but at this moment, no.
Well, it's in Peru.
Yes.
It's an Incan.
I know there's a monkey, right?
India.
Isn't there a Machu Picchu monkey?
I don't know. I never heard that.
Okay,
before.
go
I
ahead.
have to check on
Yeah,
that.
night at the museum. I have kids. Check that out. Go ahead.
But on Machu Picchu, they got the ruins, the Maya ruins.
Yes.
And the Indians, they still discovering stuff in there.
Yeah.
Just like the pyramids.
Yeah.
The pyramids in Egypt.
Yeah.
They just found that there's some hollow areas that they used to go to.
I was watching a special a few weeks back that was studying these different buildings, and they were looking at the Colosseum, and they were looking at some of the pyramids and other areas. And they were having head engineers there looking at how they actually built some of these cities. And the engineers were baffled. Like the top world engineers are saying, this is so high tech for us. I mean, it's amazing some of the things that people figured out.
And we still can't figure out how to build that pyramid.
Yeah, like the Colosseum had water cooling. It's just
I've been
phenomenal.
in Egypt, and when I first saw the pyramids, that's like I was like, wow, this is crazy. I mean,
with no modern technology.
With no modern technology, I mean, it's crazy. It's insane. And then the last thing I got for you on the news, Bill Gates is going to be like a utopia in Arizona. And then he's going to pay $80 million. Yeah. And they're going to have like 140 houses. That came out in MSNBC, I think it was, or MSN website.
So when you say utopia, is this an area where you move to, or is this like Disneyland?
No, you're going to be moving to, but it's going to be like a futuristic homes, you know, all technologies.
You know what they'll be? Smart homes, probably.
And they're going to have a smart meter.
Smart meters. You know, Bill Gates, $80 million to Bill Gates is like $80 million.
Yeah.
It's not a big risk for him.
I guarantee you that.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about the guest today.
I probably won't be one of them, considering I have to remember to lock my door. But
yeah. That's crazy.
I'm excited about the guest tonight because we don't have a guest. No, just kidding. Actually, I'm the guest.
You are the guest.
The reason why is we couldn't get anybody to... No. Actually, the reason why is because I figured this. You know, this is our 10th episode together. I don't know if you realize that. 10 episodes.
That's a long.
And we get so many calls and so many emails into the website of people that are talking about starting a small business, and they're in this phase, they're trying to get capital, or they're trying to figure out how to structure their company. And we see so many of these things, and I thought maybe this would be a good opportunity to talk about something very specific. Actually, one of the biggest problems I see with somebody that's maybe doing the startup, right? Trying to launch a product or a service or having a startup company. There's something very specific that people run into that I want to take time today to kind of address, because I think it'll help our viewers. Both of us, you know, we've had multiple businesses over the years, and
I think it's good. It's good because, you know, it's a business show. So.
It is a business show, and darn it, I wanted to be a guest.
We have fun, but we Well, you are the guest today.
Okay,
so I'm excited that Dan Vega here.
Well, we'll keep it short and sweet, and I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to tell you a very interesting. We're going to uncover something that really, really stumps a lot of small business owners, and it really discourages them to going back and getting a job and kind of scratching their vision and giving up on their dreams. So
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited too.
Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Stick with us.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome back to the Spanglish Business Show. And our guest today is Mr. Dan Vega.
Officially, I made it.
Yeah, you made it, man. You made it. On the 10th episode, you finally made it.
So you hear these other shows that it's like on our 100th episode, we're going to have Brad Pitt, or we're going to have, you know, Warren Buffett or Bill Gates. It's like 10th episode, throw Dan in there.
Yeah, we're like... Why not? You know, let's put Dan Vega. So later on, I'm going to ask Kim the lightning rounds. How about that?
I don't know about that. I'll have to think on that. I don't want to give up my celebrity crush and then my wife hears this interview.
Okay, I'll scratch that.
So I do want to take time to talk to everybody because, like I mentioned, you know, we get so many emails into us, and people hit us up on different social media sites asking about business advice, right? And we obviously are a business show. And, you know, it's difficult to be a successful entrepreneur. Success is hard, right? Or else more people would be doing it. And there's a lot of obstacles. But the nice thing is there's principles to success. And we know that, you know, once somebody knows the principles of success, they can replicate that to any product, services. It's really then not about the product or the service so much as it is, you know, navigating these certain pitfalls and knowing what to do in these situations. And there's certain things that just constantly come up, regardless of our industry, that really give us a lot of trouble and really prohibit a lot of people from reaching their goals and having a successful company. And so one of the biggest things, I get this asked to me all the time if I'm doing publicity or radio or whatever. People ask, you know, impart us with your nugget of what's the one best piece of advice you could leave our viewers. And certainly there's many things that you have to know to be a successful entrepreneur. But one of them that comes to mind that I really want to just take a few minutes about is separating, the importance of separating our vision from our strategy. Right? That's something that every entrepreneur, every small business owner has to do, is separate your business from your strategy, because those things, they kind of bleed into each other sometimes, and it's one of the number one reasons why people get discouraged in their business and kind of quit, right? So I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. First of all, it's naive to feel like that you're going to have this great vision of something that you want to set out and do, right? And then we come up with a strategy of how we think we're going to accomplish that vision, launch the strategy, and then expect the strategy to completely facilitate the vision. It's naive to think that will happen because it doesn't happen. Basically, you have great vision, and then you take your best guess, right? You might know some of the information, but some of it is unknown. You launch what you think is the best thing you can come up with as far as strategy to accomplish the vision. And right away, you're going to see elements of success and you're going to see elements of failure. And then what you have to do is refine the process, refine, tweak, and move forward, relaunch it. And you're going to see elements of success and failure. And you have to study what happened, where the wheels came off, and then relaunch it. And after the 5th or 6th revision, then generally now your strategy now accomplishes the vision. But to think that you're going to have this great idea or this great vision, maybe write a business plan and then hire a couple people and launch this effort, and then all of a sudden it happens. It's naive to think that will actually happen. You have to know going in, there is going to be a lot of failure in the beginning, and there's probably going to be 6 or 8 major refinements and tweaks. And then once you tweak it 6 or 8 times, now it actually does what you need it to do.
I can assure you that a lot of businesses, every single business, the entrepreneur starts with a dream and ways on how he wants to accomplish the dream. But it's never that way.
Like they think.
It's never that way. Exactly.
Yeah, you can't draw a straight line and say, here's exactly how I'm going to get there. You might get there, but you're going over this way, that way. You meet a guy that you didn't think was. It's just
happen along the
spiraling.
way.
It's you have to constantly be fluid and go with it, right? But we do have to keep our vision and our strategy separated. Because what happens a lot of times is when we launch, we have this great vision, and most people at some point or in time or another, they have a great vision or a great idea of what they want to do. And when you have a great vision, you want to lock it down and you don't want to, mess with the vision. You don't want to second guess the vision. You have great vision, lock that down. It has to become fixed, okay? Then you got your strategy, right? And that's what we constantly refine. I read a great example of this years ago, where the company Coca-Cola was the kid on the block, so to speak, right? They were the kings in the soda business, and they had some ups and downs, and they needed a home run. So they launched Diet Coke. They hired this guy from Japan. His name's like this long, so I'm not going to say it because you couldn't pronounce it anyways, nor could I. But they hired this guy from Japan that he had the reputation of being like the golden boy. Everything he had the Midas touch. Everything he touched works.
Just like the Nintendo guy.
That's right. Everything he touched turns to gold. And he never failed. And they hire this guy and they say, look, we got all these competitors now. If you remember back in the late 70s, early 80s, Tab was on the market, Tab Cola. They had like Lee Majors on there. Remember that? It was 1 calorie. So I said, we have to compete with these. Now we're getting all these competitors. We have to do something. So they launched Diet Coke. And Diet Coke was huge. It did exactly what they wanted it to do. So years later, the numbers are down again, and they hire this guy back, and they say, we need another home run. We have got to get our numbers where they were because the numbers have declined. So the guy puts together this entire vision of what he's going to do for the corporation Coca-Cola, and he allocates very specific revenue marks. We're going to take the company to here. We're going to break the previous income records and revenue projections, even surpassing the Diet Coke launch, and here's what we're going to do. Oh, wow. He had a great vision, but then he says the way we're going to do it is, and he introduced this strategy with a product called New Coke. I don't know if you ever remember New Coke.
New Coke?
It was actually in a red and white striped can. It said New Coke. And he launched New Coke to accomplish the vision. And what happened was, you probably know, New Coke was terrible. People hated New Coke. And within 76 days, I think they had millions of people just coming out saying, we hate New Coke. I mean, like death threat type stuff.
Yeah,
people hated New Coke.
It wasn't the news.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And everybody wanted Coke, the original recipe, back. That's right. So, of course, he left with his tail between legs saying, I don't know what happened. I don't have any marks on my record. Everything I always do works, And he left there kind of with that one failure, what most people would say. And he finally put a lot of thought. It just kind of like irritated him personally. Just like, why didn't it work? He just thought about the strategy, and he eventually called Coca-Cola back and he said, I figured it out. I know exactly how to deliver on everything I promised. I know exactly how to break those new revenue marks, even surpass the launch of Diet Coke. I know exactly how to do it, but we have a different strategy. And he says, I'm not campaigning for my job back, but let me just come tell you how to do it.
Wow.
So he tells them, he says, look, we didn't know what loyal fans we had of Coca-Cola until we took it away from them. Then people fought for it and came out of the woodwork, so to speak, but we didn't know how loyal they were. So let's actually create a thing to where people actually feel like they have a voice and make them vote to try to fight for their recipe. And we'll say, we've heard you guys loud and clear, so we're going to vote on, do you like new Coke or do you like Coke Classic, the original? The original. And they redesigned the can with the Coke Classic now, right? And they beta tested it, and they let people come in and chime in, and millions of people got involved with that call to action. Wow. And he said, eventually, we can even use this against competitors to taste test against, and we'll make people fight for it. Right? Wow. And the strategy worked. They hit every mark the guy projected. They hit everything they did. And revenue heights, to an all-new high. What I thought was very classy about Coca-Cola, or Classic, was they actually hired him back. And, the guy had
the Classic in the bottle.
Right on the bottom. Yeah, exactly. So, but the point is, years later, they would interview this guy, and they said, everything you touch just works. Except for that one time with the new Coke, you had that one major flop. How come you failed? And his answer he said, I didn't fail. My vision was spot on. My vision was exactly perfect, and eventually I delivered it. But my strategy sucked. It was the worst. My strategy was the worst. He never second-guessed the vision of what he was going to do for Coca-Cola, where he was going to take them, how much they were going to earn. That was cemented. That was fixed.
Yes.
But he knew that I got to scratch the strategy. I need a new vehicle to get there, and that's what he did. And, that seems easy enough, right?
Yeah.
But that's something that we don't do when we're in a startup. When we're starting a company, we're emotionally compromised. And here's what happens. And a lot of our viewers, I'm sure, can attest to this, that, you have this great idea. You already have some trepidation. You're nervous. Maybe you have money that you've leveraged, and you're out there now playing without a net, so to speak, right? Family's telling you, what are you doing? You're crazy. And you're out there. Exactly. And so you're out there playing without a net, and all of a sudden you launch your strategy and you have some elements of success, but you have a lot of failure. The wheels come off, so to speak. And the first crazy thought that you have is, oh my gosh, I really thought this was going to work. Is it still going to work? See, instead of just looking really at the failure of the strategy, they're second guessing the vision. Is the vision even still going to work? So then they might put it back together, relaunch another strategy, some success, some failure. They're now saying, oh God, I really thought this was going to work. A couple of failures, they're second guessing the strategy or the vision now. They might even go to peers and saying, guys, am I crazy? Is this going to work? Is this going to work? And most people will say, what? No, it's not. You need to get a job, right? And then maybe he'll put it together one more time. Yeah, he'll put it together one more time, launch it, and he'll get very discouraged. Or maybe what they do is they start scaling back the vision. They say, well, even if I could hit half of what we projected in the vision. See, once you have great vision, you don't mess with vision. It's fixed. You lock it down. The only thing you constantly refine and tweak and move is the strategy, not the vision. You don't scale back the vision or get discouraged about the vision not happening.
That's
you,
right.
you just second guess the strategy and constantly refine it. And on the 5th or 6th or 7th tweak, that's when it pops, and this now is able to facilitate the vision. So, and you know this as well better than anybody. When you're in a business, you're in a startup, there's a phase there in the beginning where there's a lot of heat. You take your share of nosebleeds and you get knocked down, right? You know about getting knocked down, right?
Oh, yeah.
Man, and
migraine headaches.
Yeah, you start getting knocked down with all this rejection, and you start getting doors closed on you, and the money's not coming in. You're trying to play these timelines, right, for overhead, and you really start guessing, what did I get myself into? Is this still going to work? You're thinking about the vision. Is this still going to work? Instead of really failing fast and refining that strategy. And that's what I try to do, is when you're launching something, I know there's failure when I launch it, but I want to fail fast. I want to fail as fast as possible so I can get those refinements in and then get to what's working, right? And so remember that. You're going to have those hard times, but don't second guess the vision, the greatness. Just know that every strategy and every company out there had to have those refinements, and know that it comes around 5, 6, 7 refinements. Then it's going to work. So the faster you start launching those first 5 or 6, the faster you're going to get to the success. I don't know if you've ever read the 7-Up story. Incidentally, I heard Donald Trump actually told me this personally. Which is a great story, crazy delivery. Let me tell you about 7-Up.
I heard a little bit about 7-Up.
But it's actually a great story. It was actually, it started as 1-Up. You know, the guy created a soda called 1-Up. We're going to 1-up everybody.
I remember that.
Failed miserably, and then he had we're going to do 2-Up, 3-Up, 4-Up. He kept failing. 6-Up, he's like, screw this. I'm out. I'm done with the soda business. Sold all of his gear, gave it to a guy. The guy just looked at it and says, I think just tweak the recipe one more time. 7-Up, hit huge. And
there it goes.
Was eventually bought by one of the majors. You know, it's just one of those things. So if you're not having all the success that you think that you want or deserve, don't be discouraged, but don't second guess the vision. Just start looking at the strategy, find out where the wheels are coming off, what's working, what's not. Those are vehicles to basically give you data. So the more times you put it back together and relaunch and then study, it's giving you the data you need. And on the 5th or 6th or 7th time is when that car is going to get you where you want to go.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan, man.
Stick to the plan. Don't veer off. I mean, there's always help. That's what a lot of people don't know, you know.
Tons of help.
There's tons of help. I mean, if you really look around, you know, in your area where you live, how many successful people are going to be? A lot. A lot. Try to partner up with successful people.
Find a mentor.
I mean, ask questions.
Yeah, podcast. Listen to your favorite podcast. Buy some books.
Doesn't cost to ask a question.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's zero. Just ask a question. You know, the worst thing you can get is a no. I can't help you.
Well, see, this was one of the questions we've been getting a lot on the show, saying, man, I'm in this new business. When do you know when it's time to pull the plug? You've tried it several times. It's not working. When do you pull the plug? They're second guessing the vision instead of saying, look, take a look at your strategy, refine it as fast as possible, fail fast, get that phase done, because it's something we all have to go through.
That's right.
I've actually had times in my own organizations where I'm getting ready to release a new program, and I'm like, hey, this is going to roll out Monday. And some of the workers will be like, you know that's not going to work, right? And I go, I know, right? I can't wait. I know it's not going to work. But it's the best guess I have right now to facilitate the vision. And what I know is I'll hear all the data back of why it didn't work. And that gets me farther in my goal to where I need to go, right? And then on the 5th or 6th time of all that feedback, I know how to do it.
Well, that's good that all the, all our listeners, they're always asking questions and, we're able to help. We don't turn nobody down here, which is right. Good. So, but I want to say thank you, Dan, for that.
Hey, man.
Super high level of expertise.
Oh man, it was simple. Yeah.
And all the viewers, we really appreciate it. But I'll tell you what, when we come back, guess what we're gonna do?
Tell me, baby.
Conexión rápida.
Can
you say that?
Lightning round when we come back. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back, guys.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Spanglish Business Show. I'm Dan Vega. This is Angel Pomales.
That's right.
And I'm excited to be here with everybody.
And we're going to grill Dan right now.
Okay, you can grill me, but I have to say one thing first.
What is that?
I'm a believer in this, man.
You're a believer? You like it?
I'm not a beer guy at all, because to me it's like, I think I have a sensitive palate, and I don't like the bitterness of it, but the grenadine completely kills that.
Yeah, all I put was about an ounce of grenadine. Yeah. It was just actually a tablespoon. Let's put it that way, tablespoon.
So for my friends that are actually watching this, they're not going to believe, because I don't ever drink beer, and they're like, Dan's drinking a beer.
He's drinking beer.
Now, if you watch the show, I'll drink margaritas all day or martinis, but beer is not my thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was episode.
Well, Dan, this is the part where the viewers wants to know more of your personal level, and they want to know more of the answers that we always ask all the other guests.
Yeah.
So one of these
skeletons in the closet.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So we're gonna know you.
And feel free to throw some doozies in if you just make them up as you go. Hey,
All
man,
right.
I'm an open book.
Okay. I mean, you say it.
No, I don't know.
You know how I roll.
I know you do. I'm scared.
All right. You scared? Well, I'm going to ask you some questions right now. So you ready? All right.
I'm ready.
It's a rapid connection, which is called conexión rápida.
Okay. Conexión rápida.
Rápida.
Did I say
You
that?
got it, man. You got it. You're
Yeah,
good.
it's in the blood.
It's good. All right, man. So if you are not in the business that you are in right now, what path will you pursue? What other path?
What other path would I pursue?
Be honest.
Man, I have got to think about this. You know, I know the questions, but I never really look at them from my perspective. What would I do? I got to be honest. I like working with my hands. I actually like to get outside and work, you know, do the bushes and work on the grass. I don't know if it's the blood or what, but I just never figured out how to make it pay real well.
Yeah.
But I enjoy that work. And
You can sweat a lot too.
that's something I probably would have done. Maybe. I don't know, though.
Man, that's
Possibly.
a lot of work, dude.
It's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You'll be sweating all day long.
I'm not sure, honestly. Let's say some type of manual labor.
Manual labor. What about those guys on the skyscrapers?
No, man, I can't do heights.
You can do heights.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I probably would enjoy, honestly. I think a trial attorney.
Trial attorney.
Arguing cases.
You know, I always like that stuff. Man.
I would be good at arguing cases, but I would want to defend. I would want to be a defense attorney.
I'll be fighting for my clients.
Yeah.
Like really
I would be it.
I'll be like a people man.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my client.
That would be it.
How would you be?
More
mellow.
Depends on how much
I know
they pay
you'll
me.
be more mellow.
No.
You'll be like playing a game of chess.
Yeah, who
Do this
knows?
to my client, I'm gonna do this to you. All right, next. If there's a field or job that you could never see yourself,
What would it be? Easy one for me, man.
easy. What? is
Yeah. So let me ask you. You know me pretty well. What do I hate more than anything?
Being the sun.
Huh?
Being the sun.
Be in the sun?
You always got shades, man. Hey,
No, man. Be in the sun.
You hate
No,
the
dude.
most.
No. Something I don't like to do, and everybody around me always has to do for me.
Driving.
I hate driving. I honestly am just.
Oh, man.
I've never been a particularly good driver.
Driving, man. I love.
No, I can drive okay, but I just don't like it. And I've went 3-4 years at a time without driving at all.
Really?
Yeah, I just hire a driver. I just can't stand it. And my wife, fortunately, is the exact opposite. She wants to always drive, which was like kick me over the edge. So yeah, we're doing this
She's the
deal.
driver.
She's always the driver. Oh,
That's
but
good.
generally I have a driver. I just hate it. Even when I turned 16, my mom's like, "So you got your license? Do you want to drive home?" I'm like, "Not really."
So
It's
even
never been my thing.
even if you had a Lamborghini, let's put her.
No. I've owned very nice cars, and then I just say, "Do you want to drive me? I got a really nice car." I still don't care.
Really?
Honestly, a truck driver, like driving a cross country or an
Yeah.
Uber driver, something that where I'm driving all the time, I would hate it so bad. I can't think of anything worse.
You should try like an RV because they got those nice seats on it.
No.
It's like a couch.
I'll ride in them as long as I don't have to drive. I can't stand it. I do manual labor any day of the week.
Oh, that's crazy. Now let me ask you a question. When you're driver and you in the passenger seat, you're trying to come to work and you're trying to get in the zone. What kind of music do you listen to?
To get in the zone, man.
Get in the zone.
Okay, so I have my favorite, what I would call my favorite music. But if I'm trying to get into the zone, I'm either listening to something like U2. I dig some U2. Bono, man, gets me going.
That's good. I like
U2, something like that, The Hives. But also, I got to be honest, I like a little bit of rap, man.
Rap?
I could dig a little 50 Cent, or I could get down with something like that.
You ever listen to Spanish rap?
No.
It's crazy, man.
It seems like it would be.
Yeah. You gotta listen to Spanish
I'm out.
rap too.
Okay, so if anybody out there is a good rapper, Spanish rapper, or has some, send it to us. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I would love to hear it. Yeah, I like Spanish rap.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. What is your favorite guilty pleasure? And I know it's not beer.
My favorite guilty pleasure. Man, I'm gonna have to go with. So there's this place. If you ever come through, like I've had pizza all over the world. Yeah. Okay. But I have to tell you, there's a place called Fanaris Brothers.
Faneras brother.
Have you ever been there?
No, man.
It's run by some Greek guys.
What?
It's called Faneras
Let
Brothers.
me write this down.
And dude, the pizza there, fortunately it's in our area. And I've had New York City pizza. I've had it ever. Faneras Brothers is almost an hour from my house, so round trip is 2 hours.
Oh wow!
If me and the wife want pizza, we'll go pick up. 2 hours.
Yeah.
For this pizza, it's that good. That is my guilty pleasure.
Don't worry because she'll be driving, right?
Of course, dude. What are you talking? I'm at home watching Roku.
You're watching Roku. Hey, honey, I feel like eating pizza.
Baby, hurry up! I'm hungry.
Yeah, let's go get some pizza.
I'll pay. She drives. We're both happy. Yeah. That and I don't turn down cheesecake.
You'll be like, let me take a nap and let me dream about this pizza that I'm about to get.
Yeah. I have a few guilty pleasures.
All right.
But that's one of them.
So you say about cheesecake?
A cheesecake, I love it. And I'll tell you another one. Watches.
Watches?
I'm a watch guy.
That's cool, man. You always got some nice watches, man.
Yeah, I collect.
Yeah.
And I like something, not necessarily the most expensive or not but something that's unique, you know.
Yeah.
And
that's a good hobby.
Something that's fun and unique, and maybe I like vintage.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Vintage. Yeah, nice. In Spanish, viejos.
Viejos. So how would you say 1962 Hamilton?
1962 Hamilton.
Nice.
Because I don't know what Spanish is.
Okay, fine.
or you can say Hamilton 1962.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Let's go with that.
All right, man. The next question. Luxury car or lowrider essay?
Well, you don't know. You know, I don't like to drive, but I'm a luxury car guy.
Luxury car?
Yeah, for sure. Except Saturdays, man.
What's going on with Saturdays?
I want to be like luxury car Monday through Friday and maybe Sunday. Saturday, dude.
You want to do the bounds?
I'm cool with that.
Bounds. All right.
We'll do that.
Hey, maybe we can. Guess what? I got a lowrider, man.
Really?
Yeah, man. I just got a lowrider, so maybe we can use it.
Do you really have a lowrider?
Yeah, man.
Dude, you need to come pick me up.
Yeah.
And a lowrider, we go somewhere.
Yeah, let's go to that place. What's called Faneras Brothers.
Dude, we do.
Faneras Brothers.
You come pick me up in the lowrider. Yeah. We go out to Faneras Brothers.
Yeah, we can do that.
And dude, that is a time right there, man.
Either that.
We'll shoot. No, here's what we do. We shoot like episode 12. You pick me up. We do the whole episode from the lowrider. We go to Faneras, finish the episode.
Yeah, let's do that, man.
That is it.
I'm on with that.
Okay, cool. For sure. Remember that.
All right, so we're gonna.
I got it documented
on a lowrider eating pizza. Episode 12.
What? I want to see your lowrider.
Yeah, man. I just found one. All right, next. Name a super gigantic or gigantic goal that you're planning to achieve in the near future.
In the near future, well, as you know, we've been working for many years on building a business university. Blue University, BLU. .university is where you can find it.
Awesome.
And, you know, we've been for the last 10 years, we're trying to create the most elite school for entrepreneurs with the most high-level entrepreneurs as the instructors. That way you're not teaching in theory, but it's the top shelf guys that are actually teaching.
Awesome.
And it's really going well, but one of the immediate goals would be to hit the 10,000 mark as far as enrolled students.
That'd be nice.
In the next year.
Awesome.
So we're close.
So that's a good gigantic goal. Then.
Oh man, that would be
awesome.
A dream. Yeah.
You know what? I kind of flipped on one of my questions here. Skipped over.
Okay.
But I can't skip over on you, man.
Say it, baby.
Everybody needs to know if you like menudo or chicken noodle.
I gotta say, my wife's mother, she makes an amazing homemade chicken noodle soup. But dude, menudo 7 days a week, baby.
Yes,
Gotta be. No question.
Menudo,
I'll take bad menudo any day of the week over to the best chicken soup.
Me too, man.
For sure.
My wife was like, man, you know what that menudo was 2 days ago? I'm like, I'll take it.
So have you ever been to that? There's a place called Olgi's. I don't know, right? You know where that place is?
Yeah, I know where Olgi's is.
And man, it's so I can handle spicy, but it's so spicy that you're eating like this. Every spoon you have to clear your voice because it is so hot, but I love it.
I know it's hot. You know what I do? I just get the bread. I just use bread.
Yeah.
I mean, my lips will be like tingling.
I'll take the tripe any day.
But it's good. It's good. All right. So let's see. Last question. So you know that we used to have an African American president. We had a white presidents, and now we got a business, president of White House. What will be the first 3 executive decisions if we had a Hispanic president?
First of all, I hope that never happens. No, I'm kidding. Can you imagine him be like, baby, where's my keys, man? I can't find my keys. I gotta go. I'm supposed to be on Air Force One.
Yeah. No, the best thing
be a
would
mess.
be, what about the limousine?
Oh,
There'll
man.
be gold rims on it, bouncing.
Spinners.
Yeah,
The
spinners.
president. Presidential spinners.
Yeah, man.
First 3 executive decisions. I think one would be maybe regulate a little bit more the Mexican food, because I find a lot of stuff being passed off as great Mexican food or authentic Mexican food.
Yes.
And it's just not, man. So I think there needs to be some kind of a guidelines or penalties. We need to tighten that up a little bit.
Wow. So they're going to take that
I'm
to
hoping.
the food administration then.
Yeah, exactly. Like a bill.
Yeah.
Also, I think that executive decisions, man, that's a tough question.
Yeah, man. Two more.
I think that they should make free travel for Latinos.
Free travel?
Yeah, because I think that most Latinos have big families, right?
Oh, you're right.
And so around the end of the year or the holiday season, people have off work. And there's a lot of family to see, and so I think they should just make it free travel. Or if it's not free travel, at least expedite us to the front. I don't have any rhyme or reason of why, but I just think so.
That's crazy.
And the third thing would be no taxes for Latinos. Taxes? Yeah, simply because
how do you do that?
we can't they can't budget their money well enough sometimes.
It's like, need the money for the bombones.
Hey, man, there's not enough. Yeah,
I need some bombones and candy.
Those are more like 3 dreams, but that's kind of what I wish.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, it's still a good answer. So, well, anyways, I want to say thank you for being in this panel.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Business show, and giving us so much good insight from your business perspective. I'm pretty sure I can use it, and a lot of the viewers can use it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, and it's been great having you, and I hope you like the drink that we always make. Yeah, thanks to one of our last guests that gave us the idea on putting grenadine on Coronas.
He did, huh? Oswald Rivera, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man, we did it, and at some point, it's gonna be one of my favorite drinks now, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, man.
Well, I appreciate, man. Like always, I'm excited.
Absolutely.
Episode 10 in the bag. Stick with us. Yeah. And don't forget that if you have any questions, if you have good drink recipes, and you know what I want to ask the viewers?
Yes, what?
I heard a really great Mexican joke the other day. I'm not going to repeat it on air, but if you know of any great Latino jokes, send them in. We want to hear about them. Yeah. info@spanglishbusinessshow.com. We'd love to hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, and we'd love to hear from you. And again, if you have any business questions, let us know so we can actually cut out a little time to answer those for you.
Right.
Okay?
So hasta la próxima, amigos, and thanks, Dan.
All right. See you next time.